Is Apple finally getting serious about affordable iPhones? A new leak says yes, and the plan involves reusing something old to make something new. According to a report from The Elec, Apple is preparing to launch the iPhone 17 next spring, and to keep costs down, it will likely reuse the exact same organic light-emitting diode display found in the iPhone 14 and iPhone 16e. That's right, the same 6.1-inch organic light-emitting diode panel that debuted 2 years ago could be coming back again. The move is part of Apple's new strategy to make budget-friendly iPhones more consistent and easier to produce. It all started when the iPhone 16e hit the market. At first, it was rumored to be a new generation of the iPhone SE series, but when it launched under the main iPhone 16 branding, instead of as an iPhone SE 4, it caught everyone off guard. This suggested that Apple was rethinking how it handles more affordable iPhone models. Instead of random SE drops every few years, it now looks like Apple wants to release a new budget model every year, this time with the E label. The iPhone 16 eased, with its A18 chip, Face ID, and familiar display, launched at a starting price of $599 United States dollars. It placed itself right in the mix with upper mid-range phones like the Google Pixel 9a, Samsung Galaxy S24 Fan Edition, and OnePlus One 3R. The formula was simple: offer solid performance, clean design, and all the essentials while skipping the premium extras that most everyday users don't care about. And based on how well the iPhone 16e was received, Apple is now ready to repeat that recipe with the iPhone 17e. The report claims that display suppliers like BO, Samsung, and possibly LG Display will be involved in providing the panels for the new device. Since the technology is already mature and well-tested, this would help Apple cut costs during production while maintaining display quality. Earlier reports from April suggested that trial production of the iPhone 17e was already underway, with a tentative launch aimed for May next year. Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo also believes the new model will arrive in the first half of the year, likely sticking to a spring timeline. But what's even more interesting is Kuo's long-term forecast. He says this will not be a one-time release. In fact, Apple is reportedly planning a third model in the series, expected in the first half of 2027. That means we could be looking at a proper yearly cycle for Apple's affordable iPhones, a big change from how sporadically the iPhone. What if the budget version of a foldable phone actually beats the competition at a lower price? That's the surprise twist Samsung might be delivering with the upcoming Galaxy Z Flip 7 Fan Edition, just days before its official debut at the Galaxy and packed event on July 9th. While everyone's eyes have been on the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and the standard Flip 7, the more affordable Fan Edition model is quietly stealing the spotlight. A new Geekbench listing shows the device, coded as SMF761B, putting up some impressive performance numbers: a single-core score of 1,940 and a multi-core score of 6,136. These are not just good scores for a budget foldable. They're enough to place it above the already released Motorola Razr Plus 2025, which comes in with a single-core score of 1,896 and a much lower multi-core score of 4,814. That may not seem like a huge difference at first glance, but it really matters when the phone is handling more demanding tasks like multitasking, photo editing, or gaming. For regular things like browsing or chatting, they might feel similar, but once you open a few apps or start pushing the phone harder, the Galaxy Z Flip 7 Fan Edition could clearly come out on top. And now, let's talk about the part everyone really cares about: the price. If Samsung launches this phone at around $800 United States dollars, that would make it $200 United States dollars cheaper than the Motorola Razr Plus 2025, which sits at 1,000 United States dollars. That's a big difference, especially when the cheaper phone is performing better. On top of that, Samsung is known for longer software support, high-quality screens, and a strong ecosystem of accessories and connected devices. So even though it's labeled as a Fan Edition, It's hardly a cut-down version in the ways that matter most. In fact, this might be one of those rare times when the cheaper phone gives you more value than the premium competition. That doesn't mean the Razer Plus 2025 is a bad phone. It still holds up well against last year's Galaxy Z Flip 6 and might appeal to people who prefer Motorola's style or features. But unless the Razer gets a serious price cut or adds something extra that Samsung doesn't offer, it could struggle to compete once the Z Flip 7 Fan Edition becomes official. The timing couldn't be better for Samsung. Foldable phones are still seen as premium products, and most people assume cheaper means less capable, but this leak flips that idea. The Z Flip 7 Fan Edition seems ready to handle everyday use without compromise and even outperform some of its pricier rivals. As we wait for the July 9th launch, one thing is becoming clearer. Samsung's strategy of offering multiple foldables at different price points might pay off in a big way. What if Samsung's next big battery upgrade turns out to be more hype than substance? That's what a lot of people are starting to wonder about the Galaxy S26 series, especially after new reports suggested some hopeful improvements, only for doubts to quickly return. Let's break it down. Samsung has reportedly teamed up with ITM Semiconductor to work on smarter, more durable batteries for the Galaxy S26. This partnership is focusing on a new technology called epoxy molding compound, which helps protect the battery by managing heat, blocking moisture, and reducing interference inside the phone. These changes could help the battery last longer, especially during intense tasks like gaming or fast charging. It also allows Samsung to make the battery protection circuit smaller, creating more space inside the phone, which sounds promising if they actually use that space wisely. But that's where things get tricky. Well, this all sounds great. In theory, the report doesn't confirm that Samsung will increase the actual battery capacity. And that's where the disappointment begins. It's likely that the Galaxy S26 could end up with the same 3,900 mAh battery found in the Galaxy S25, just wrapped in some new protective tech. Samsung might promote it as a major innovation and slim the phone down even more. But here's the thing, people aren't as excited about super thin phones as they used to be. Just look at the Galaxy S5 Edge, which was sleek but didn't really sell as expected. Instead of shrinking the battery to fit a slimmer body, Samsung should have gone in the other direction. The smarter move would be to increase the battery size and then use the new technology to make it last even longer. That would have given them a real edge over their competition. Other companies are already doing this. For example, OnePlus has started using silicon carbon batteries in phones like the OnePlus 13, packing a 6,000 mAh battery in a compact frame. And early rumors suggest the upcoming OnePlus 15 could push that even further to 7,000 mAh. That's the kind of bold step Samsung needs to take if it wants to stay ahead. Even the Galaxy S26 Ultra, which is supposed to be the best of Samsung's lineup, is rumored to stick with the same 5,000 mAh battery it's had since the Galaxy S20 Ultra back in 2020. Sure, 5,000 mAh is still solid, especially with more power-efficient chips and better software, but the fact that it hasn't changed in 6 years doesn't inspire much confidence. It feels like Samsung is standing still while others move forward. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 is also expected to underwhelm, with a battery smaller than 4,400 mAh.